Boom! We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Life is a Chad YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be. And of course, however you may be listening. So today I have a treat for you guys. It's been a little while since I have reacted to a whatever podcast or Fresh and Fit podcast clip. I've been wanting to deviate from that a little bit, not for any dislike of the whatever podcast or Fresh and Fit or anything like that, but just rather to expand the content and the topics that are discussed. But sometimes there is something that is just too much gold. It is too pure to not react to. And on top of that, I, in large part, spurned this reaction. Andrew Wilson, who I've been able to interview, think he's a great guy, great content creator, and he really did me a solid. I'm sure there were other people in the comment section when this was going on, the live chat, that were clamoring for the same thing. But I think Andrew knows, and I know that he was doing me a solid in trying to bring this up in this particular episode. And this was actually a few, probably like a week ago now. And the topic, of course, is with two roughly 40 to 50-year-old women. Yes, they are in good shape for their age. And yes, they look fairly good for their age. But they certainly have a self-inflated opinion of their sexual marketplace value. And what we commonly see in the modern dating market, especially from women, is this sense of entitlement. And this really is what is at the foundation of the red pill space, the manosphere space. And I always say this, not that I agree with everything within it, and I don't claim to be a part of that space per se. I don't, I don't have, there's some things within it that I agree with, and there's some things within it that I disagree with. If the red pill means searching for truth, then yes, I suppose I am about the red pill, but I just like to articulate it as me searching for truth, whatever you want to label that as. But they have a huge inflated self of worth on the dating market. And you commonly see men reacting, as I'm about to do now, to this total delusion. And a lot of this, before we watch the clip, I just want to outright say this. A lot of this has to do with just the fact that women really, by and large, are not asked to consider things from the man's perspective. And because of this, therefore, when it comes to preferences, you commonly hear it articulated in such a delusional manner, because to them, it's like, I get whatever I want. And therefore, if I get whatever I want, as likely has been the case for much of their life, then why can't I go from this to this? And what I'm referring to is, maybe going from a bad boy to a more traditional man, going from being a woman who maybe doesn't have how much a man earns at the forefront as much in her younger years, and she goes for the bad boys, the chads, maybe without as much money, and then all of a sudden they're 50 years old, they want to change their preference. And in a female's mind, it's like, well, of course I'm able to change my mind. They don't realize in their self-assessment and in this journey to man, I hate saying the word journey, super cringe, in this journey to their newfound opinion and preference, that they are no longer the woman that they were in their 20s. And I think they know this unconsciously, but we do comment, and this is probably a separate topic. I don't want to deviate too much here, but this is why you will commonly hear older women coping so hard about them looking better in their 50s or 40s versus when they were 20, which we all know is nonsense. Any cellular organism decays year after year after a certain amount, it is downhill. You are going up and then you peak and then you go down a little by little bit, sometimes more so than others. So that's at the foundation of this, and we're going to respond to this. I think it was a great back and forth, and I think that this woman, and I'm not trying to beat down on her too hard for her opinions, but it is just such a common take. And I could have guessed everything that she said before she even said it. So we're going to check out this, and I'm going to be reacting to the response. But before we get into any of that, I want to ask you guys to consider smashing that subscribe button, like, comment, share. You guys know the drill. Without further ado, let's get into this. All right, guys. So again, from Back to the Roots, but of course, it's a clip taken from the Whatever podcast. This is Andrew Wilson here. And we're going to be listening to it on 1.25 speed because it is 40 minutes long. I don't think I'm going to be reacting to the entirety of this for time constraints, but we're going to be reacting to a lot of it. So here we go.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's a traditional value though.
I would say being a leader in the relationship.
Hang on. Let me just
I think it's provider protector. Yeah, provider protector. The world is always on my shoulders.
You just want to be more in your feminine.
I do. Yeah, I'm definitely in my alpha. I want to be more in my feminine, and I'm always going to work. I'm too ambitious to not work.
Okay, two things right off the bat. Number one, there is no such thing as an alpha woman. There's such a thing as a masculine woman with masculine tendencies, but women, because of their lack of physical strength, can never be a true alpha. That's number one. Number two, but that's just kind of a small thing. I don't begrudge her for not knowing that and understanding that outright. Number two, again, at the heart of this, she says she wants a traditional man. And for me, what I would categorize as a traditional man would be, and Andrew points this out, in one sense, traditional means previous points in history and trying to live life as people that came before your time. Okay, that's kind of one way to look at it. But the other way to look at it is, and I suppose this would coincide in large part to the other example I just gave, but it is to assign it to a Christian worldview. And what that is the order of things: God above man, man above woman, woman above children, which means that the man is the leader, has the final say. And in other words, the woman should be putting everything into her husband being able to be the best that he can be in his endeavors. She is a part of his world, not the other way around. And so right off the bat, she says something that is incredibly telling by saying that she's always going to want to work. She's incredibly ambitious. And Andrew is going to key in on this later in the clip. But it's like, again, this just shows how often women are so hypocritical and not consistent. She wants a man to be traditional and adhere to traditional norms and this kind of Christian idealized man, protector, provider, without the negative aspects of it, or what she would perceive as the negative aspects of it. It's kind of a buffet style selection where, she gets the protector provider, which is awesome. That's a positive, but she doesn't get the aspect of the man where he's always the leader and she is putting into his world rather than her putting into her world, or kind of this 50-50 bullshit nonsense. And it's very much a buffet style situation. Meanwhile, while she wants that, she also wants to be able to be incredibly ambitious. What traditional masculine man, especially a traditional masculine Christian man, would want, and I know this because I am one myself, would want a woman, let's take her age out of it, the fact that she's 50 years old, would want a woman who categorizes herself as extremely ambitious. What man is going to want, who is doing well in those aspects, is going to want to have a wife of his, or even wife up a woman like this that is trying to either be the equivalent or exceed his ambition as a man. No, a man that is masculine and traditional and Christian and believes in the order of things wants a woman that is exceptional in her feminine things. She's soft. She's a nurturer. She's somebody that he knows that he can come home to and can have peace and this aura of softness and yeah, peace. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. That's exactly what it is. You know, men can easily conjure up exactly what a feminine woman is. It's just this woman that has this aura of just goodness. Okay, not ambition, not masculine characteristics. And that's why I pointed out the very first thing when she says that she's in her alpha. No, she's in her masculine, which is very hard to rid yourself of.
So I don't want to be a lady that lunches. I just want.
I don't understand, what are traditional values, though, that you're I understand that you want a man to provide for you, but what are traditional values?
Tradition for me, a traditional value is a man that wants to protect and provide for his woman.
That's it.
And whose actions align with their words.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's a traditional value, though.
I would say being a leader in the relationship.
Hang on. Let me just. I just want to.
It's provider protector. Yeah, provider protector.
That's it. That's a traditional value.
Yes, that's what I consider a traditional value, because I've not had that.
And what is it that you bring for him?
I bring a lot. I bring a lot of ambition. I bring a lot of fun. I'm a good cook. I'm traditional as well.
Is a traditional man who's willing to provide for you, does he care about your ambition?
Yeah.
No masculine man gives a hoot. You darn tootin', gives a hoot about a woman's ambition, because that is not what men are looking for. That's not the balance that a masculine man is looking for. He's not looking to wife up one of the boys, one of the fellas, one of the men that he competes with at work against. I mean, come on.
Yes. He supports.
Why would he care about your ambition?
He supports my life and my goals as well.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want a traditional valued man and you want him to provide for you, then the focus for both of you should be on his career and the advancement of him, so that he can then do that in turn for you, right?
Yes, but I am also at the age where I want to retire, so I'm looking for a man whose kids are also grown, that we're on the same level. So we have the same goals in life.
Well, okay, what are those goals?
To retire in Europe.
To retire in Europe. Okay, so you retire in Europe. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm guessing that, I mean, you're only in your 50s, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're a long way from retirement. I
don't think so.
I mean, you're at least 10, what did you say, 53? 52. So you're at least 10 years away from retirement.
Not in my mind.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm
not willing to
not in her mind, she's not 52. You can't make this shit up, boy. Fuck. Crazy.
Compromise my standards. So that's why I took a break from dating, because I'm working on myself right now. And I know that once I'm whole within myself, then I will attract the right man, and we will be on the same page. And
I don't know what that means, though. What does that mean, whole within yourself?
I want to make this point very quickly. Okay. It should come natural. This is the problem with our current society. Is in previous times, it was very natural because society knew the natural order of things. So women commonly and properly stepped into their feminine, and men commonly and properly stepped into their masculine. If you by 50 years old, okay, don't have it down pat yet, you're not going to have it. Okay. And I'm just going to tell you guys, you know how difficult it is to change how somebody is, or even if they are willing to change, you know how hard it is for people to change. I'm not even sure I believe people change at all. They just find a way to become who they already are. But I have been in leadership positions that the toughest people to have their behavior or actions altered are older people, because they are set in their ways. They are set. It is who they are. Okay. I would say by the time you're 40, you are definitely who the fuck you are. Okay. So it's total lunacy on her part that there's any inkling of possibility that there could be change. And again, how pathetic is it that by now she does not have it down pat yet? That's embarrassing. And it just, again, shows the state of society that we currently have.
Well, I'm working on my mental health. I've had a lot of trauma as growing up. I don't have family. I don't have a backup plan. I don't have like parents that are going to give me an inheritance. I'm all I have. And I take care of my grown son. And it's because I worked hard and I made good choices in my life, career-wise. And now I'm at a place in my life where I'm taking a step back. I'm not stressing myself out day to day.
Well, it sounds like you come with a lot of baggage.
Yeah, that's why I'm working on myself.
Yeah, so
we all have baggage.
Well, yes, that's true. But I mean, you would have to agree that some people have a lot more than others, though, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so I mean, if you come with a lot of baggage and you want a man to provide for you, what is his incentive to do so? That you're really fun?
Because I'm working on myself and I'm trying to heal the baggage.
Yeah, but
So
if
I
he
think
has
that's
a choice
important.
between, if a man who is successful enough to go and retire in Europe with you has a choice between you and other women who have less baggage, these other women, let's say, and they're not working on themselves, why wouldn't he just pick them?
I think what she's trying to say is she's trying to work
Yeah, she
to
can
get
speak
to
for
a
herself,
point,
I
like,
promise.
a place of
Right.
finding
I promise
her
she can
man.
speak for herself. Let her finish. Go ahead.
Absolutely, because a man would have free will but that's not my man. That's not going to be my person. So maybe my person is somebody that has the same sort of background as me, that also worked on himself and is looking for the same things. And I'm willing
Yeah,
to
I
wait
mean,
for
you
it.
have to admit that that's going to be rare, right? To find a man who's going to retire you in Europe and deal with all your baggage if he has tons of other options which are available to him if you're just kind of working on yourself.
But I have the money to retire in Europe myself, so I don't need him to do that as well.
Then why are you
But
looking for him?
because I want to find my person, because I believe in love.
Yeah, right. So then you still have to have a competitive edge, right?
What are you hearing that I don't have that's not competitive with other women?
Well, you said that you still take.
Well, let's just start here. You're 50 years old. You likely can no longer have kids anymore. So for a high caliber man that's looking to sow his wild oats and have legacies, as most traditional strong men want to do, you can no longer do that. So unless you were okay with him having sex with other women that are not you, in order for you to maintain the wifely position, so you could have basically a surrogate baby, it's, all the main strong points that a woman can provide to a man, she no longer has. And so nowadays we're running into a situation where there's this expectation from women that they should just be loved just because, and whatever baggage they have, whatever things that they don't offer is fine. Because ultimately they're basically nothing more than sex holes. And damn what the man wants out of a relationship. If he wants kids, there is no accountability, there is no expectation on women any longer to fulfill their normal, natural, feminine roles.
Take care of a fully.
In other words, the modern man is getting the short end of the bargain massively, and no longer can count on women to, in any part, hold up on their side of the bargain at all. I mean, it's like above 50% out of the question.
grown adult male, right?
Yeah, well, he's going through college now, and so he can stay with me until he's finished with
And
school
you want
completely.
this other male to take care of you, which I'm guessing means that he's going to primarily be using his resources on you and not your resources on him, right?
We can use my resources as well. I have resources.
Yeah, I know, but he's going
and
to bring
I
a lot more of them. That's what you're after, right?
I have perks too. I have perks with my life.
I'm not saying you don't have perks. I'm just asking for what the competitive edge that you would be bringing to the table at 53 would be for a man who would bring the resources necessary to take care of you for the rest of your life in Europe. That's all I'm asking.
I don't think that's going to be hard to find. I think that it might take me longer, but I hear what you're saying, and I'm not going to let you tell me otherwise that I'm not going
I'm
to
not
find my
telling you
person.
otherwise. I haven't told you anything. I've just asked you some basic questions.
Right.
I told
You're
you anything?
saying,
I haven't
oh, you're
said anything?
53. What are you bringing to the table? Well, I bring a lot to the table.
Okay, what?
I bring a lot. I bring a great sense of humor. I'm sharp.
Okay.
I'm funny.
Yeah. Nine times out of 10, women are not funny. They're sassy. They're sarcastic. They have attitude. They're disrespectful. They think that that's funny because they don't have jokes and they have a terrible sense of humor. But even if they are funny, men don't give a fuck about that. Yeah, I would say perhaps if you can be funny in like a cute, kind of like dorky way, maybe that's not bad. But even still, like it's not enough to make up for being unable to give kids. I mean, come on.
I'm smart. I'm ambitious.
Well, make me laugh.
I'm pretty.
Hang on. Make me laugh.
That is so dumb. It's like going to a stand-up comedian and being like,
Okay,
tell me a joke.
I agree. It's a cheap shot. It's a cheap shot, but it's just funny to say, right?
It's funny.
Whenever a woman says they're funny,
It's in the moment.
It's just always been my experience that they're not funny. But the
Well,
thing is
just
even
take a
if
look
you
at my
were, even if you
YouTube
were in
or
the
my-
category, hang on, even if you were in the category of being a very, very funny woman, right? All women think that they're funny, right? All women think that they're funny. So the question is like, okay, I get it. You bring a good sense of humor to the relationship. Obviously, other women will be bringing a good sense of humor to the relationship as well. I'm asking what you specifically are going to be bringing that other women in your age bracket aren't going to be bringing.
I just said it. Did I not just say it?
Well, you said you're funny and
I'm
kind of
smart.
quirky. I
I'm
didn't really hear any of such
ambitious.
apart.
I am funny. I am successful. I am.
Okay.
Yeah, but men don't
I'm
care about
pretty.
success. They don't care about success. They don't care about how successful a woman is. They care about how pretty she is
I'm
and
pretty. I'm
how well she
pretty.
treats
I'm
them.
pretty. Have you looked at me? I'm very pretty, and I'm smart, and I'm very sweet.
Okay. All right.
I have a couple things on this, but we do have somebody joining us on the panel here. You can come.
She's smart and pretty. In other words, she has a few holes that she can give to a man, maybe a decent amount on the front end of the relationship, but considering she's 50 years old, it won't be nearly as much as if you're dating a fucking 22-year-old hottie. It's just pathetic. There is zero accountability. The modern woman is lacking. Now, in a lot of regards, the modern man is lacking as well, but I don't think the modern man is lacking nearly as much and as drastically as the modern woman is.
Go ahead and take a seat. Morgan had to exit. So she doesn't speak English though. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to ask her any questions, but she can just kind of give facial reactions. And so, buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Any
I don't agree
Spanish
with
speakers
that.
at the table? Yeah, so just maybe like if, it's okay. It's all right. Anyways, and if you can just scoot into the, how do you say scoot into the table in Spanish?
Métete a la mesa.
Sí. Sí. Okay. So, anyways, yeah, guys, Morgan was feeling a little unwell, so she had to go, but she'll be back Tuesday most likely. Anyways, I do want to really quick just to piggyback on what Andrew was talking about. You said you're successful, funny. Really quick on the funny one.
Morgan might have been on her, that's why women shouldn't be in the workplace, brah.
No offense, ladies. I don't think guys care.
They do.
They
If
want
you're
you to be clever. They want you to be able to hold a conversation. Really?
And are guys lying when they say, "Oh, I love your"?
No, again, that is what women expect from men. That's what it is.
I love you. You're so witty and you're
Yes.
funny. They're
Yes.
lying.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So then you're leading a girl on and telling her what she wants to hear.
Oh yeah, guys
No,
do that shit all the
well,
time.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Hang on. So you're saying that if a woman doesn't look good, maybe she looks fat in a certain dress, that you're just being mean by telling her, oh, no, honey, you look good in that dress. Is that what you're saying? Or is there times where it's appropriate in a relationship to avoid kind of fights which are unnecessary, to just kind of, sure, you're witty. Yeah, of course. I love having conversations. I love the long walks on the beach and the mojitos at night. It's my favorite, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think guys really care about the whole funny thing.
All right.
You know? No
All right.
offense.
Well, I didn't know that.
I don't really care.
Well, you're
Like, I
just speaking
wasn't-
for yourself. You're
I
speaking
feel
for
like I'm speaking for
yourself.
90% of the
And
dudes.
for him.
Maybe there's like 3 dudes that like really like funny women. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's 3 dudes in existence that want to fuck Amy Schumer. Don't know. But I will say this. I don't think there's ever been a woman who's like, well, I didn't want to have sex with her. But after hearing that remarkable joke, now all of a
That's
sudden.
where they sealed the deal.
Sealed the- Oh, by the way, Andrew, I sent you a text message.
All right.
Andrew. And then the success thing, though. Wait, didn't you say you wanted like, I forgot what it. I don't know if you said traditional or what.
Yeah, traditional. What I'm
You mean-
saying is, I just don't want to have everything always relying on me all the time. I'm looking for a partner.
But,
Like, I'm not looking to
I got a question. For
just
you.
not
so,
work.
So you said you went on 45 first dates, right? All different guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm counting.
Of all the 45 first dates, would you say most of them would be like either a drink or dinner?
The new 2024 GMC Sierra.
Man, got these, for YouTube, they have the paid promotions, and it's like, fuck, man, they're kind of getting a paid promotion by their ads rolling in sporadically. All right, here we go.
And of the 45 dates that you went on, who paid for the dates?
They did.
In every single, like 100% of them?
Oh, yeah.
Any split?
No, no one
Oh yeah,
asked me.
45.
Nobody asked me to split.
yet she can just be a modern woman. But it's funny how the expectation is totally for the man to adhere to all of his. Now, again, the thing is, I believe in men being traditional, and I do believe that is what men commonly do, but we need to point this out in order to get women back into their feminine. We need to point out the hypocrisy and honestly put them back in place. I mean, I know that may not be the nicest way to say it, but it's just a lot of these women got a big ego out here, and it's not realistic. It's not accurate.
40, just to be clear, 45 first dates.
Yeah.
And in each instance, the guy always paid.
Yes.
Okay. And then you said there were 3 guys who you dated a little longer than just, most of these guys, one date, that was it. Would they continue to pay for dates?
Yes.
Did you ever pay for a date?
I'm good at
With the 3 I'm
never a
talking
date. I've never paid for a date, but I've offered to pay for dessert or
Okay. Right. What would you
something.
say was like kind of the most, when these guys would take you out to dinner, for example, whether it was the first date or one of these guys you dated for 3 months, did any of them take you to somewhere a little pricier when it came to dinner?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think is the most a guy spent on you on a first date?
He told me $3,000
On the first
on dinner. He told me it was $3,000, but when I added it in my head, it was probably $1,500. But it was
only
that's a lot.
$1,500.
No, it's a lot.
Okay.
And he's the one that's still
Was it
my
like-
friend
what's
to
the
this day.
Fancy, is it Nobu? Is that the place?
It wasn't.
that's
No,
expensive?
it was an
Expensive?
Asian fusion restaurant in downtown LA.
1,500 first. And was this a guy that you saw again or no?
Yeah, this was This was actually my true situationship.
The most.
Holy fuck, dude. I cannot believe any dude dropped $1,500 on a dinner date for a chick like this. But again, it's all about your frame as a man. And if you come into the date with a truly masculine frame, women always fall into place. And I guarantee this guy was a beta loser, which is why he felt obligated to drop $1,500 and essentially pay for pussy. That's what he was doing.
The last one.
No.
And no wonder they're still friends, because she wants to be able to keep him on the leash in case she's not able to find a man she actually likes.
This was the one before him. I was in a situationship with this
I
guy
see. Okay.
where he treated me like his girlfriend. He was living his life in reverse. He didn't want anything serious. He had 3 kids before the age of 30.
But first, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so we were in a situationship for about 3 or 4 months.
And then you said so the first date though he spent $1,500.
No.
One of the dates he spent.
One of the dates.
How much did he? What's the most that the guy spent on the first date?
I would say $1,500.
Oh, $1,500.
I would say that
And
would
then
probably be the most someone's ever spent
That
on
one
me.
specific guy, would he continue to take you on like kind of fancier dates?
Always. We always went on fancy dates. And he's actually my friend still. He's the one guy, the guy that I slept with that's still my friend. Because he did not want to be in a relationship.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And
it's nothing. Yeah.
not me. Okay. So no, he didn't want to be in a relationship. But we had a really great friendship. Like he's a
Yeah.
great guy. And so we're still friends
sure.
to this
and
day.
So, how often did you see him? Like, how many dates do you think you went on with him?
We saw each other once a week.
For 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe about 10 times. 10, 12, 10 to 20 maybe?
Sure.
Okay. And he would always take you out to a fancy, nice dinner?
Not always. I
but
mean, sometimes we had tacos from the
Sure.
taco truck,
But
but
then other times he'd spend $3,000 on a dinner.
he said it was 3,000, but sure.
He was, okay. And then any of the other guys, the other 3 guys, would they ever fancy dinners? Big.
Yes.
But not one of these dinners you ever paid, correct?
No.
You mentioned that you bring your success to a relationship. You went on 45 first dates. Not one of them did you pay for. And of the 3 men that you did have continuing, more than just the first date. So I fail to see how your success, translation, your finances, your money, has anything to do with your attractiveness to a partner when you're not bringing that to a relationship by your own admission.
I think a lot of guys today in the state of California want a woman that does something
What did
in
you
their
do?
life. I'm saying I have my own job. I have a job.
Well, but, and this is, I'll just be blunt, this is why men don't actually care about your success or your finances, because
we don't receive any of it. We're not given any of it. It means nothing. All your money, a woman's money is her money. A man's money is everyone's money. The whole family's money.
we don't reap any benefits of your success. So when women say, well, I have these academic credentials and I have this high paying job and I'm successful, I don't have debt, I have all this money. Even in your case, you went on 45 dates. Not one did you pay for. They paid for the whole meal. These men would spend thousands of dollars. Some of them would spend thousands of dollars. I'm failing to see how your success or your money.
I don't see where you're going with, because I'm saying I have a job and that
Well-
I bring that to the table, that I work.
Can I add something?
Oh, Okay, go ahead.
I feel, and I don't want you to take any offense to this, I feel like your generation was very much
Yeah.
taken into a woman has to have a job, has to be successful,
let's
because
skip.
it was like kind of
Let's get past.
It's not
her
like, well, it was
dumbass take. I've already heard it before, and trust me, it was not an intelligent take.
the case back then.
No, it's still now. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying like everyone
No,
kind
but
of
this
from
50-50 thing, it wasn't like boom in the 90s and then down in the 2000s.
no, it's still now. It's still current.
No, but it's been climbing 50-50. But you're saying it was more so.
I will say though, I think there is starting to be an awakening, especially with counterculture and YouTube. There are a lot of women that are being awakened to the lie that they were sold.
the case in her generation.
No, I'm saying
which just can't be true.
Okay.
Female as the role model. She was the bread.
Ever get into the picture. So how could your success be what you're bringing to the table if none of the 45 men that you went on the first date with and none of the 3 men that you had a 3-month relationship with reaped any benefits of your success? How can that be something that you're bringing to the table?
Well, those were men that I wasn't compatible with, but my 10-year relationship, we split everything 50-50. We purchased a home together. We did so it was.
But that's your past, right?
Yeah,
But what I'm
sure,
saying is
but
that-
that's, but wait, hang on. You got to back
So
up.
he reaped the rewards of my
Well,
success.
We understand the
But I don't
idea
see where the
here that
45 dates has anything to do with that.
in a
Because
previous
you're just meeting
relationship,
someone for the first time.
in a previous relationship, you said you split everything 50-50. But right now you said you're looking for a man with traditional values. When I asked
Mm-hmm. Right.
you what those are, you said he provides for me.
And protects.
So it kind of,
Yeah.
well, provides and protects, sure. But if that's what your criteria is, then Brian's saying, okay, if that's true, then all of these dates that you went on recently, why would your success be something you're bringing to the table? If they're paying for everything, they clearly don't give a shit about that, right?
I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't ask them if my success mattered to them.
I mean, you guys talked about all sorts of different things. You must talk about work and this type of thing, right?
Some of them were first dates. So you don't go that deep. You just go deep enough to know that, okay, this is my person, or we're compatible. There's chemistry.
But so conceivably, even on the first date, you would say, well,
I
what I'm
did
bringing.
have one guy say that to me. He's like, I like that you work, because if something were to happen, you're fine on your own.
was it only
Yeah, this was a guy who was not taking you seriously for a relationship, and he was just saying what needed to be said because he knew you're a masculine woman, and he wanted to get laid.
only a first date.
It wasn't one first date.
Yeah.
That was the only, out of all the 45, that's the only time I can remember.
Why don't you offer to, do you offer to split?
Well, after a while, not for the first date,
Why
but
not?
like if we're dating.
but I thought what
I
you
have
bring-
paid for things. I have paid for things.
Well,
in the,
not from any of the recently, right?
like I
By
paid
your
for
own admission.
takeout once when they came over, something like
What's the most
that.
you spent? $20 on In-N-Out?
It's expensive. No, like takeout, like post.
I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking about that $1,000 cost. Like if you go get tacos.
I've gotten dessert. I've gotten
$50.
tacos. I paid for valet.
Okay, but I'm just confused if that's what you're bringing to the table. It doesn't seem like it's manifesting itself in any of the 45 dates that you went on.
I don't care about those 45 dates because they weren't my person.
But you know what? I want to say that I've been on dates too with men, and where I've offered to pay for some of the tab, and they refuse. They get offended when you say, "Oh, here, let me help. Here's my card." And they go, "What are you doing?"
So let me give you the correct response to that. I think women should offer to help always and see what the man says. I mean, if the man decides that that's not what he wants, he'll let you know. But put it out there, offer it, and see what the response is. So, but to say, I doubt she's about to say that some man got butt hurt. I doubt that that's true. Doubt it.
You know, they get so
Sure.
butthurt, and I feel like it
Traditional
emasculates
alpha
the
male.
man
Yeah.
if you offer to pay for half the bill, as if they can't afford it. So it's almost like an insult or a slap in the face to them.
Sure, absolutely. I'm sure there's men out there that feel like it would be demasculating or whatever it is. But again, if you're saying that what you're bringing to the table is your success, but I guess I'm trying to explain why men don't really care about this metric.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, do you think men get intimidated by women that have strong careers?
Yes.
No, we just don't want to deal with your bullshit.
Well, what kind of
Yeah.
bullshit happens when a woman is successful?
Well,
Well, I'll explain. So, well, at least from the purview of the traditionalist male, I think. So it seems to me that a traditional man wants his wife to be devoted to him. And
Yes.
so they want the family hierarchy to work like this. The man is at the head of the hierarchy. And then there is the woman, mother, and then under that is the children. That is the way they want the placement of that hierarchy. So if the woman is devoted to the career and not to the husband, then it creates some type of problem within the set of the hierarchy. And so they tend to prefer that women stay home and take care of children, and they take care of those issues. They take care of the financial issues. And so when you're talking about male betterment or, men trying to work on themselves and trying to, what is the adage, 6 foot, 6 figures, et cetera, the idea here is that you can take care of a family. You don't want to have to compete with your wife's career or, whatever
No,
your
you
significant
don't.
other's kind of extra.
And honestly, this is what leads to a lot of divorces is the woman is continuing to be in her masculine. And yes, sure, the guy may not hold frame very well and may not be able to share his proper thoughts on the matter. And that's definitely his fault. But there's this constant jockeying for position. And then it culminates in the woman not being fulfilled or happy because she's in her masculine frame. She's never going to be happy. And then, of course, they get divorced and she does it all over again.
Externalities are to you. You want her to be devoted to you. And then the exchange for that is that you take care of everything on behalf of them. So I wouldn't say it's intimidation. It's just, why would you want competition?
No, I
don't
totally
want-
get that. But in a way, I think it is generational too. Like men our age, they want to be providers. They want their wives to stay at home. Now, when I talk to my 23-year-old daughter about her dating life, the guys that she dates or has she's talked to in the past, they want a woman that's going to bring 50% to the table. They want a working woman because things are so expensive now. They want to be a power couple with a
No, it's that they have no other choice because they're young men. They don't have all of the resources yet that they will when they're later in life. And it's a lot of pressure. It is. And yeah, things are expensive. But do I realistically think that this is an expectation across the board from all young men? No, if all things being equal, if they could pay for everything, they would be the complete provider. But it's just not always completely possible.
woman, and I think it's just more like a generational thing.
But wouldn't
I
this-
don't. Well, here's the thing. I think again, I think you're right in a sense, and then in another sense, maybe a little wrong here. If you say traditional, then yes, that's always going to be a generational thing because we're appealing to previous generations for what the tradition is, right? We're not making the generation this tradition. Or, the tradition's not made this generation, it's made in previous ones. So the question then becomes this. If you're looking for a man who has traditional values, when I ask what are you bringing to the table, I'd be looking for you to bring similar traditional female values to the table. But what I see instead is that women seem to want to move into, I want a man to follow the traditional values of X, but I still want to be more in the set of a modern woman. And I don't understand how those two things get reconciled exactly. If you want a traditional man to provide for you and take care of everything for you, what are you bringing to the table? That question is talking in terms of tradition.
I would say housewife, like laundry, cook, clean, tend to the kids, make sure he is taken care of 100% in the bedroom and outside the bedroom.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys are
and-
way past. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean
We
that.
are.
I don't mean this rudely, but you're past childbearing age,
Right.
right?
Oh,
Of course.
absolutely.
Yeah. So if that's the case, what are the traditional values you're bringing? You're not going to be looking after his kids at this point. So what is it specifically that is a traditional value to be bringing to the table?
I think a man wants a woman to, same kind of traditional, they want a partner. They want someone that they come home to that they
What? They want a partner? What?
can trust, that they can count on.
I would think they want submission.
Right.
Yes.
Well, someone needs to be a leader and someone needs to be the submissive one, right?
Yeah, but what does submission
Yin
mean
and
to
the
you?
yang. Well, someone who is going to care for the leader in the household,
Now we're cooking. Now we're getting to the crux of this.
whereby she is going to do things that he's not able to do half of the time because he has a career, he's at work. So tend to him, like do his laundry, make sure he has breakfast, lunch, and dinner made and
Well,
prepared.
those are daily duties. So what does submission mean, though? What does that
For
mean?
one thing, I know people kind of mistaken like submission to be like the weaker half, but I would have to disagree with that. I would say submission means somebody who is going to take the back seat or someone who's going to sit in the passenger seat and let the man take the driver's seat and make the decisions in
Yes, submission is more of a supportive role.
the household and make sure, the budget is intact and you guys are living within your means.
It means obedience.
Correct.
It means obedience. It means to obey. Can you actually take a submissive role? Can you actually obey, even if you disagree? Even if he's
Can you actually obey? I love the way Andrew says obey.
in the wrong? Even if you believe he's completely incorrect, can you take that role?
I don't think that means that you have to be a carpet.
Right. You still have a voice as a submissive partner. It doesn't mean that you're going to be the weak one and accept all his wrongdoings. You
What
can
do you
agree
mean
to
wrongdoings?
disagree. You can agree to disagree.
Hang on. Most examples inside of a relationship where there's
So
a
in other words, you're only submissive for the things that you agree with. Okay, got it.
submissive partner and one who has a household are not moral quandaries. They're general quandaries. So I'm not saying that you have to cede to immoral behavior, like he says, I want to open the relationship or something like this. But obedience is, if we're going to spend all of the money on this,
Damn, that Spanish girl is thick. Like
We're spending
she's
all of the money
like
on
the
this.
real thick, the good thick. This one right here. Fuck.
obeying means if the kids need to go to X school, I want them to go to that school, even if you don't agree, even if it's 30 minutes out of your way and you think it's stupid.
By the way, later in the show, they do a fit check, and surprise, surprise, the old gals totally were the victimized and would not get up and do a fit check, and they were struggling to do who's the hottest at the table and rate themselves. All the young girls got up without question to do the fit check and the twirl.
That's what obeying means. It's not always, so you kind of conflate this with a moral quandary. Most of these issues are
And
not.
again, that's the example of why a man would not want an older gal, a grandma. Rather, he would want a young, hot woman.
Moral quandaries, right?
You could still compromise. There's still room for compromise.
Then that's not obey. That's not obedience. Compromise is not obedience. Compromise is the opposite of obedience.
So you're telling me that being the submissive half of the relationship is somebody
Oops.
that is just going to bow down 100% of the time.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's where I'm going to cut it off. I have to get going here. I thank you guys so much for watching. You guys can go and check out that clip on your own. It's a good clip. I think it's very informative. Andrew did a great job as per usual. And of course, I was hammering him in the comment section to ask these questions. I'm glad he did. Thank you, Andrew. You're a king as always. Be sure to smash that subscribe button, like. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. It helps the algorithm out a lot. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. In fact, their feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. Love you, kings. See you guys next time. Peace.